Everybody, welcome back to War Buddies. It is really windy out here, so hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. Yeah, the weather's a little bit crazy because we're near the end of the summer. We're also near the end of the City on Fire narrative campaign. This is episode 4 out of 5. So hopefully you guys are enjoying. Quick update. The tickets for Warfare Weekend are going on sale the 23rd. The hotel block is on sale, live right now. And this weekend we should have details on what time slot the City on Fire event will be in. So link in the description below, check out Warfare Weekend, and you can either catch, I'll brief you guys next episode on the details, or you can just watch the War Buddies Facebook page. I'll put up some information about that when it gets a little bit closer. Enjoy. Power station secured, Command. No evidence of explosives or sabotage.
Acknowledged. Remain and secure the primary...
Command, we can't keep chasing them.
What is your assessment, 907?
They want this evacuation to happen. They're shooting down our flyers and seizing the power stations so that we have to evacuate. But they won't shoot the transports because that would slow it all down.
To what end?
I don't know yet. I want to return to 906 crash site and see what I can find.
Approved. Report in when the site is secure.
And let's meet Team ISA today. We're going to be led off with a Paladin Commander per the usual. Sword and Shield leading out front, backed up by the classic Weaver, the variant model here. They're going to bring with them the Siege Breaker because he always makes a good impression with all that firepower. Squad of Enforcers here to get the work done. They'll be backed up by a squad of Annihilators here to get the heavy work done. And as per the usual, both of those squads can take an Aegis, who's got his force field generator for cover. The first time we are bringing a light vehicle in this campaign season. This is the Interceptor. And then our Warjack choice is going to be our classic Jack Hunter Firebrand with Sword, Shield, and Harbinger Cannon. Our hero choice is going to be the 1000 World's Best Duelist, Justicar Voss, and his Twin Arc Blades. Moving over to the AC side of things, we're going to lead off with a Marauder to go out and do tanky things, an Immortal Weaver to go out and do very non-tanky things, and a Grafter for fixing people up when they fail at doing tanky things. Speaking of people who fail at being tanks, we've got Reavers coming in with their melee chainsaws and nailer pistols, Raiders with the really big long guns, the Spikers, and as usual, our best boy, the Raker. We're bringing a vehicle for these guys too. This is the Scythe. It has a giant blade on one side and is an absolute menace. Finally, our Warjack choice is going to be the Salsa Maker, the Scourge Light Warjack with the Killer Cortex, Claw, Force Rod, Rocket Pod, and Nailer. And backed by popular demand, our hero choice is Harlan Sek himself.
Hello Warcasters and War Buddies alike. Welcome to the Salvage Scenario. This is going to be episode 4 of City on Fire. It is a fully custom scenario. Not a lot of complicated rules, but there are some weird rules in play. First of all, you'll notice that there are no objective markers on the board, but there is a large smoking mishap happening over here. The way this works is at the start of every pulse round, we will roll 2 action dice, and for every strike shown, we will place 1 portable objective within this little orange space on our lovely table war mat. Portable objectives can be picked up by warrior models only, and just 1 objective per unit. They are worth 1 point at the end of the pulse round if a friendly unit is holding it. Or if the friendly unit is holding it and within the deployment zone, it is worth a number equal to the pulse round, so 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3. And I say the deployment zone because both of our armies are going to be sharing a deployment zone 5 inches up from this table edge. So they are essentially racing each other to get to the wreck, salvage what they can, and either hold on to it or for the big money play, try to bring it back to the deployment zone. That is also why I haven't set up the armies yet, because the order of deployment is going to be a lot more important in this game where you're jostling for deployment space. But before we get onto that, let us spawn some objectives out of our wreck. On pulse round 1 and only on pulse round 1, we're going to count a double blank as 1. So we're going to spawn 2 portable objectives. They have been placed thusly, and then we will roll to see who deploys and goes first. Forward plus will be ISA. And it's going to be the AC deploying and going first. And here is the lineup at the starting line for the mission. The AC deployed first, so they put the Scythe and Mortal Weaver up on this roof. And then the Marauder with a nice tanky clean shot straight down to the crashed flyer. Meanwhile, the ISA countered by putting a very large heavy weapon squad, Aegis and Paladin Commander right next to him. And dropped a Siege Breaker right behind the Weaver. So it will be AC turn, so they will be able to get away from a lot of that. We'll give it to them, see what they can do with it. Beginning the salvage scenario, pulse round 1. And here at the start of turn 1, pulse round 1, the AC Warcaster will charge the Marauder. The Immortal Weaver will sort of gesture over her shoulder and throw Annihilation Vortex at the Siegebreaker. Round 1, turn 1 is my favorite time to throw Fury Ciphers because we are focus 4 with 6 arc in the tank because we have done nothing but charge the Marauder yet. Coming in hot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikes. 5 strikes against defense 2. And 4 get through. But it is only POW 3 against armor of 4. And he takes 1. He will take 1 of his 3 health. And Annihilation Vortex allows the AC player to then move him up to 3 inches. It is a reposition, so unfortunately we can't just teleport him into midair. Instead, she will move him right over here for reasons that will become apparent shortly. But also, since he was just targeted by an attack, the ISA player will choose to charge him by 1 because of his Dominion Converter. You need a freaking technical manual for these guys, which is actually a very ISA thing to say. Moving on to regular activation, she will throw her Psychokinetic Hood into the Siegebreaker before moving. It's a Rat 3, it is a spray, but there's nobody else around. 1 strike, run on defense 2. And it gets through. POW 4, armor 4. Well done, takes him for another one. You don't usually get to see a Weaver bullying other models, especially not a Siegebreaker. And then she will move her 6 inches onto the bridge. Marauder's going to go next. He's going to put his Shredder gun into... let's look at some of the spicy candidates here. We'll aim for the middle Paladin Annihilator. Rolling for strafe. No strafe. He does have an arc charge, however, which helps. 5 strikes. 5 strikes against defense 3. And 2 get through. POW 4 gun against armor of 3. And first blood goes to the AC. And he will lumber his way up 5 inches. Not the fastest guy in town, but he's charged, so he'll be able to get rid of his activation token next turn if needed. Back over with the Weaver. Weaver's got more jokes. We're going to turn around and throw a Velocity Projector into the Siegebreaker, whose foot is hanging off the edge. We are still rolling 6 power dice because we have 6 arc in the well. This is the dangers of a Alpha Strike on Warcaster. Is it technically an Alpha Strike when you share a deployment zone, though? Food for thought. Anyways, coming in. That actually wasn't that good. 2, 4, 5, yeah, same as before, 5 strikes. But it's still better than you can roll possibly on 2 white dice. So 2 get through. First things first though, he's going to go back 3 inches and then drop. It is a 2-inch strike. He's dropping 2.5 inches roughly, so he will take a POW 2 hit. Probably nothing to worry about. He's armor 4, but there's a chance he could roll 2 super strikes and die of a sprained ankle. But he does not. The actual attack, however, is a POW 4, and we got 2 successes, so could this end him? Yeah, so the good news is he didn't sprain his ankle. The bad news was because he was dead before he hit the ground. That is probably the most impressive this Weaver has been all season. With no reinforcements to call up yet, the Marauder will drop a 5 arc gate. Nice and close, moving up the field pretty well. Strong first turn for the AC, deleted the Siegebreaker. That was no mean feat. but didn't put much of a dent in this massive firepower squad. So we're gonna jump over to ISA turn 1 and see how they respond. Now the ISA did a smart thing in bringing a lot of shooty firepower for their back row, but the problem is the Annihilators are slow. That unit is only speed 4, which means the only person with any real speed to them is the commander. So the priority this turn, we think, is going to be we will charge Paladin Annihilators, and the goal is going to be try to get them to delete the Marauder, and then send the commander upfield as fast as we can to start dropping gates. And just to help, we'll put Divination Algorithm onto the Annihilator squad, giving all their ranged weapons +1 range and +1 POW. Meaning those are POW 5 Harbinger cannons now. They're going to move their 4 inches up first. 4 inches there. Do the leapfrog trick to get a little extra space. Bring your arc, and then start unloading into that Marauder. First Harbinger cannon, no one is arranged for strafe, so we're just coming in with Rat 3 and an arc charge. And 3 strikes. Shooting defense 2 because he is not exactly an agile boy. But he's a sturdy boy, only 1 gets through. As mentioned earlier, they are POW 5. And fails to crack his armor. Shooting gun number 2. 4 strikes this time. Defense 2. And blocks all but 1 again. Can they break armor 4? No, they cannot. So point granted, the Marauder didn't do much damage to the squad, but he's just casually walking away, shrugging off all of these bolts. Our final shot will be from the Aegis. That's a good 5 strikes. Defense 2. Okay, 3 of them get through. He's up to POW 4 with Divination Algorithm. And of course, he's the one to deal damage. So good news, folks, the bloodthirsty Aegis is back. Dealing a point of damage there, and more importantly, inflicting lockdowns. Drops his speed by 2, so the already kind of slow speed 5 Marauder is now a speed 3 Marauder. Meanwhile, Paladin Commander's not to be outdone. He will take his 6-inch move around here and try to give him the old stab stab. Mat 4 with no arc charge. Okay, and the 1 strike. Defense of 2. And blocked it. And then he'll drop his own 5 arc gate right in the middle of the pathway because the ISA brought slow supporters for this one with the intent of bringing their speedy boys out of that gate. So Pulse Round 1 basically played out like a Turnus Continuum propaganda because we opened up with the flimsy little Weaver just casually dismissing the Siegebreaker from existence. Marauder shoots in, claims first blood, and then just walks away through a hail of firepower that barely scratches him. Let's see if they can carry on that kind of momentum into turn 2. Start the AC turn, the Marauder is charged, so we will clear his activation token. And they'll put their last arc onto the Scythe. Nothing super useful in the Ciphers right now, so we're going to go straight into the Scythe first activation. Since the Scythe is a vehicle, when he goes to activate, he can choose one of several maneuvers that'll give him special abilities this turn. He's going to choose to force the engine, gives him 1 of his 4 health gone, but gives him +4 speed, bringing the speed up to 12. And with that, speed 12 and fly, in fact, he's going to soar over here and land right on the other side of the Annihilators. If you guys haven't noticed, our favorite feature of the Scythe is this giant bladed wing on one side. So as he's coming in, flying in overhead, he's going to dip that, and he will hit every enemy model he passed over during his turn. Starting with the Aegis, his wing has Mat 4, 1 arc charge. Good start, 6 strikes. 6 strikes against the Aegis's, defense 3. 4 of them get through. Trying to crack armor, 3. Yeah, look to the skies, Traveler. The shadow looms overhead. The wing dips and just throws this guy into the side of a building. Hitting the second of the Annihilators. Okay, only 1 strike there. Maybe he heard the engine and was able to duck. Nope, still clipped him. Armor 3. Yep, he's out too. Basically a force of nature, this guy. He doesn't even have to spike for this. You just have to be charged and pass over an enemy unit. Alright, 3. Final Annihilator. Defense 3. Nothing. Oh man. Is the carnage complete? Come on. The carnage is complete as the scythe wipes out the squad just from his movement. With all that finished, he's going to level his heavy displacer on the Paladin Commander because there's really no other ISA targets left alive. We're at 3, 1 arc charge. Only 1. Defense 3 on the Commander. And it still goes through. You're catching it here live, folks. This is just dice being dice. Armor 3. And that takes 1 health. Because he shot with the heavy displacer, he could spike to then move the Paladin Commander 3 inches, but he's not going to because the Marauder wants a piece. Mat 4 with an arc charge. Coming in with a claw. 3 strikes. That's doable. Can you fend him off with that fancy shield of yours? You can! Alright, bravo! Put the camera on, you get a little bit more screen time. Looking cool. We're going to shoot him with the Shredder. And 4 strikes. 4 strikes. Pull out that same dice roll, buddy. Not that dice roll, the other dice roll. Pow 4. Oh man. Paladin Commander is out. Which means there are no longer ISA units on the board, and in several other war games that take place in the grim dark far future, that would be the end of the game. Warcaster, not even close, because we have more reinforcements on the way. That being said, being tabled like this is not a great look for the ISA, and it's going to make things really complicated. Actually, it's going to make things really simple, because their next turn is going to be just reinforcements. So a massive advantage to the AC, but they don't have the game in the bag yet. They still have a long ways to go to get to the objectives. So the Marauder will move up 3 inches, because he is still under lockdown, but he's also trying to just block what can come out of that gate. Speaking of gates, it is time for reinforcements out of the AC gate. And since they are in it to win it, they will bring out the big scary Scourge, which is going to help, again, to block that gate, and also give us a mobile squad of warriors to go after the objectives. The Weaver, meanwhile, is going to drop a gate here, and I've put the arc on this roof because they fell through that grate, and then I had to fish them out, and that was no fun. So, the imaginary arc up there for that gate. Turn 2 for the ISA. This is rough, man. You're looking at the amount of firepower on this board, it is all AC. So since the gate is already at its maximum of 5 arc, we can't charge it any extra, we can't play cipher cards or do activations because no one's on the board. We're going to progress straight to reinforcements. And if you really want the iconic image of an absolute cluster bottleneck, here it is. So we brought out, through some careful maneuvering and measuring, we brought out the Firebrand, the Siegebreaker again, and a squad of enforcers. Unfortunately, none of them are eligible to put a gate down, so while the AC have a gate moving forward, we have to have a 5 arc gate back here in the deployment zone. Alright, it is now turn 3 of Pulse Round 1, and the AC has a high-speed daring plan to grab an objective, because right now everything is kind of bogged down in the middle. The way this is going to work, we are going to charge the Vassals. The Immortal Weaver is going to throw Instability Equation into the back Enforcer here, the one closest to the camera. Not likely to do much, there's no arc in the tank, and they have compound armor, but, you know, you gotta try sometimes. Gonna be straight focus 4 against defense 3. Yeah, 3 strikes on the attack, not terrible. Defense 3, and he gets through, the explosion goes off. Armor 4 on the main target. She gets another one. Weaver making a play for MVP this game. Well, so far it's going to be the Weaver or the freaking Scythe. Or the Immortal Marauder. I don't know. The AC has a lot of like all-star team out today. Freaking AC Olympics team showing up. All right, one down, and let's resolve blast damage on the other two. It's POW 4 against Armor 4, so statistically neither of these should work, but we all know how statistics work in war games. Okay, one saved. And the other one saved by a hair. Moving over to the Vassals will open up with their nailers and try to drop the remaining two enforcers. Coming in a Rat 3, POW 3, not exactly known for their stopping power. These are like the 9 mils of the AC, I suppose. Yep, one strike, defense 3. Swing and a miss. Second shot, did you learn from your friend? You did. Someone's been taking notes in class. 4 strikes. 4 strikes, defense 3, and blocked. Those enforcers are having none of it today. And third and final shot. 3 strikes. Can it be done? Not today. Yeah, these guys saw what happened to everybody else earlier and were like, not today. Now for the daring part of the plan. He's going to scamper 2 inches up on top of this thing. We're going to go 4 inches forward. Yeah, stop and measure that. 4 inches forward puts him here. That is a 2-inch drop. So the entirety of this plan depends on him surviving a 2-inch drop. Which normally wouldn't be that spooky, but he is a vassal. And he's okay. When we bring the rest of the squad up, we're going to throw the Raker up front, very close to that objective. Move the other guys up. Try to help screen him. And then we are going to spike for Phase Stalker, which moves the Raker 3 inches and allows him to make an attack. He doesn't want to attack, he wants to pick up, probably in his mouth, much like he has that sword. He's going to pick up the first portable objective. Meanwhile, the Marauder, since he is still charged, is going to go again. We're going to put the Shredder into the Enforcers. Rolling for strafe. 1 strafe. Shredder coming in. First target is 4 strikes. Good showing. 4 strikes against defense 3. And they all get through. I think it might be over for you. 4 and 4 against armor 3. Yeah. You can show yourself out. Second attack. 4 strikes again. See how the Enforcer holds up. 2 of them get through. POW 4. Armor 3. And just barely gets him. Squad is away. And those were some very sensible priorities, because now the only solo, or the only warrior model who can pick up a objective is going to be the Siegebreaker with his speed, I don't know, like 4 or 5. Yeah, speed 4. So that pretty well secures that the ISA is not going to be able to get a warrior model onto the objectives. So their question is going to be, can they get the portable objective out of the Raker's mouth? If you've ever tried to get something out of your dog's mouth that he doesn't want to give up, you know that's freaking impossible. And just to really make that difficult, the AC Warcaster will play Plexus Densifier in the squad. They are now -1 speed, which is fine, they're on the objectives. But they are at +2 armor, meaning the Vassals are at armor 4, and the Raker holding the objective is now armor 6. Gate here in the building will spit out the Raiders, giving it 2 arc remaining. And then the Reavers will drop a 2 arc gate in this nice little tucked away corner, so they can start to put warrior models out, picking up the objectives. So moving into ISA turn, their priorities are going to be trying to get rid of the Reavers, trying to get rid of the Raker especially, and just try to form up and fortify this area so that they can start to pick up objectives in the next turn. We're going to put an arc on the Firebrand. We've been sitting on some good Warjack Cypher cards, so we're going to see what he can get done. Starting with Ascension Catalyst, giving him speed 8 and flight. He's going to leap and sail ever so gracefully in a rockets, jetpacks, magical energy sort of thing, and land about there. He's going to start to hammer away at that defense 4, armor 6 Raker. So So here we go, coming in with, we'll do Shield Bash first. It's a nice one to open with. 1 strike, okay, so point your head at the target. Good boy. Defense 4. And blocks it. Coming in with a sword, stab, stab. Lost a red dice. Okay, that's better. 6 strikes. 6 strikes against defense 4. Blocks 4 of them. 2 get through on a POW 5, but he is armor 6 because Plexus Densifier. And he gets him for 1. Yeah, I said 1, so if you haven't looked at the Raker's resume of late, he is defense 4, armor 6 with Plexus Densifier, and 2 health. So he's going to put his Harbinger Cannon into the Vassals with the hope that the Siege Breaker and his shooty guns can back up what's left over. Rolling for strafe. 2 strafe, alright, everybody's getting bullets. Rat 4, I'm just going to go right down the line. Target number 1. 3 strikes, defense 3, armor 2, no, armor 4. Okay, 2 get through, trying to break armor 4. And first one down. Second attack. Ooh, a good one, 4 strikes. 4 strikes against defense 3. Only 1 gets through, trying to break armor 4. Not quite. And shot number 3. 4 strikes. That's pretty consistent. 3 of them get through. Just roll straight into it. Trying to break armor 4. Yep, and down. Plexus Densifier comes in handy though. And that is it for the Firebrand. Time to go to the Siege Breaker. Siege Breaker really wants to put some hurt on these guys, but he also knows his priorities. He's the only, I guess, of all the two ISA models on the board, he's the only warrior model who can pick up objectives. So he is going to shuffle in here 4 inches, put his fusion sword into the Vassal. Mat 4, no arc. Ooh, but a good roll. 4 strikes. What's up with the 4 strike attacks? It's been weird. Only 1 gets through. Let me go check his POW. POW 4 against armor 4. And he does get him. Runs up, spears him through. Gonna put his arm gun, the Radliff V9, into the Raker. Hoping for the best, but he's only Rat 3 and no arc. Only 2. Raker's defense 4. 1 gets through. They can break armor 6, they'll make him drop it. Not even close. Running out of options, he's going to shoot his missiles into the Raker. And not very well, only 1 strike. Blocked it. It is technically, he's going to take the blast. It is technically possible to break armor 6 with 4 white dice, but it's not going to happen today. So he picks up the portable objective in his mouth, hunkers down, survives an absolute hellfire storm, and at the end of it all, still holding the objective. Who's a good boy? You. You're a good boy. So we're going to move on to reinforcements. Nothing else with the cipher cards we want to do. We've got some good ones, but we're saving them. We've got like Encrypted Command, Impulse Inducer, and all that. For now, let's see who comes out of this gate. That gate is going to spit out the Interceptor vehicle, plus a Weaver, plus Justicar Voss, who we really wanted to drop closer to the objective, but got to work with what you got. Meanwhile, last gate, 4 arc gate dropped by the Siegebreaker as the action starts to close in on the ship. But that does conclude Pulse Round 1. There's only 1 objective in play, and it's being held by the AC, so they will take 1 point to the ISA's nothing as we go into Pulse Round 2. Rolling for the lockdown effect on the Marauder. He's free. He's back up to speed 5. At the start of Pulse Round 2, we are going to generate more portable objectives. Or maybe we're not. No new ones. We got to deal with the 2 we have. Start of the AC turn, they're going to put an arc charge onto the Raker. And then cast Acheronian Benediction on him, which means if someone destroys him, they will immediately suffer 1 point of damage in return. And then he will try to take a chomp out of this Firebrand before he starts moving. He's mat 4 with an arc charge. Not a bad roll with 3 strikes. Firebrand defense 3. Nothing. Firebrand is actually going to spike to re-roll that defense roll. And now it's blocked. Meanwhile, the Raker, not to be outdone, he will spike to use Phase Stalker, which will allow him to move 3 inches. Coming right over here. And make an attack. Just mat 4 this time, no arc charge. Wow. Good boy. 7 strikes. Let's see you re-roll that one. 4 get through. I'm telling you, the AC really brought their A team today. Trying to break armor 4. And they break it once. Then he's going to scamper his 6 inches around this corner, trying to make himself completely invisible, very hard to hit. Otherwise, his 2 priorities are 1, keep a hold of the objective, which will be 1 point at the end of the turn. And if he can somehow get it back to the deployment zone, it'll be worth 2. Solo activation is going to go to the Marauder. It will lumber up towards the Siegebreaker and lay into him with the Claw. Mat 4, 1 arc charge. 1, 2, 3, 4 strikes. 4 strikes, defense 2. Alright, 1 gets through. Armor 4 on the Siegebreaker. We lost a white dice. Will it make the difference? Yes, it will. Takes 1 damage. Hitting him with the Shredder next. 4 strikes. 4 strikes, defense 2. Oh, all 4 of these are getting through. Coming in, armor 4. And gets him for 1 more. ISA's really taking a beating here, but they are still in the game and only separated by 1 point for now. But now it is time for reinforcements o'clock, as we bring out Harlan, Sek, and the Grafter from this gate. Both of them warrior models perfectly capable of picking up objectives, and 1 juicy objective laying right there. The Marauder will place a 2 arc gate on this container right here. We're trying to avoid the bottleneck situation here, so hypothetically, if we bring someone in here, they have options to jump off in multiple different directions, including the important task of covering for the Raker, because he is down to his normal 4 armor, 1 health, and he is carrying a giant target on his back. Start of the turn, we're going to charge the Siegebreaker. And the Weaver is going to cast Volition Anchor on the Scourge. Volition Anchor does no damage, but the target gets -1 armor, and friendly models can reroll attack rolls against them. Focus 4, 2 arc in the tank. And 4 strikes. Scourge defense is 3. He gets hit, so as previously mentioned, he takes no damage, but he has been Volition Anchored. He is down -1 armor, so sort of like Corrosion, but everyone gets to reroll attack rolls against him. John, redo that arc charge. Start of the turn, we're going to put an arc on Justicar Voss, the boss. And the Interceptor is going to take its turn. Its maneuver will be Sky Hunter, allowing it to reroll its ranged attacks, which is the only kind of attack it has, really. And it will rev its engines to sail 9 inches, very fast little device, to perch up on this and stare down the doggo. It's going to use its fixed guns on Rat 4. 2 strikes, we'll see what he gets on defense before we reroll that. Doggo defense roll. He got 3, so yes, we will reroll the Intercept's attack from Sky Hunter. Sky Hunter reroll. That's more like it, 1 gets through. Power 4 armor 4 just has to get 1 through to make him drop it. And there we go. Sails up, skids along the side of this building, and rakes the Raker with firepower. Portable objective dropped. Pretty satisfied with that. He's going to turn and shoot the Immolator underneath his hull there into the Scourge. Rat 4, re-rolling in case of Sky Hunter. 2 strikes. See what the Scourge gets. 1 strike, so 1 gets through. Do we want to try to beat that? Yes, we will. Try to reroll Sky Hunter. All right, we'll take it. 1. All right, POW 5, 1 red dice. He's armor 3 now because of Volition Anchor. And 1, 2. Wow, gets him for 2. All right, putting some serious hurt on the big guy. We've all seen how dangerous he can be in these games. That is the last shot for the Interceptor. And the Scourge is now on fire because he definitely needed to look more intimidating. And because the Raker did have Acronym Benediction on, we will give 1 damage to the Interceptor. Solo activation is going to be Justicar Voss. He is very upset that I have not used him until now, since he is an ISA only hero. So he is going to take his speed 7. He is a duelist. He's a quick little boy. Run in here and start wailing on the Scourge with his swords. Now Voss's swords are very special swords. He gets to pick one of 3 effects when he goes to attack. He can remove ciphers from the enemy, he can slam them, or he can do armor piercing. And he's going to do armor piercing, bringing the Scourge down to armor 2. Combine that with him re-rolling for Volition Anchor, and I don't think this is going to go super well. There we go. We got 6 strikes to lead off. Defense 3. Only 1. Voss's Arc Blades are a staggering POW 5. And, yeah, he only needed 2 to run up, slice the Scourge's leg clean off, sending it crashing to the ground, still on fire. And since he's killed an enemy in melee, his Relentless ability kicks in, and he moves 2 inches up. Fortunately for the Marauder, he is just outside the 1-inch range of the other sword. Voss will call that a job well done. A job so well done, in fact, that we use Encrypted Command to see if he can do it again next turn. Meanwhile, we've got a gate to handle with 4 arc on it, which will spit out the Paladin Commander and the Enforcer Squad here to completely body block Harlan and the Grafter from moving on the objectives. And then Voss will throw a gate up here because it's funny to sort of have the mirror image. In the AC turn, we're going to engage in some classic AC shenanigans. So we're going to put an arc onto Harlan. Well, the AC did have some cool Warjack ciphers, but nothing super helpful right now. So we're going to move on to activations. Moving over to the side, he is going to force the engines again, giving himself a 2nd point of damage. Leap up and soar completely over. Being very careful because this model's a little awkward. Overhead, slashing the blade into the Interceptor and landing here. It's going to be hitting on mat 4 with an arc charge. Only 1. Interceptor has defense 4. And just barely. Skillfully jerks out of the way as the scythe comes reeling overhead, landing here. Going to shoot his heavy displacer up into the Interceptor. He does want to shoot Voss with it. The problem is, if you've worked with Voss before, you know, if you're going to shoot him, you need to be able to hit, because while he's charged, he can dance around like nobody's business. And mobility is definitely key in this scenario. So, Rat 3 on the heavy displacer. 1 arc charge, 2 strikes. Defense 4 in cover. Yeah. But that's okay, that wasn't the clever bit. That's just to get him into position. Clever bit, we're going to start off with Harwin Sec. Let me measure some ranges. Harwin is going to put his sword into the Enforcer right in front of him. Mat 4 against defense 3. Oh, good shot. That is 4 strikes. I can definitely do public math on camera. Defense 3, 1 gets through. Going against armor 3. And cuts him down. 1 of many. At 4, shooting his Flux Disruptor at the Aegis, actually. We want to shut down their ability to get cover over there, just in case they manage to get a hold of an objective, which they're certainly in position to. 4 strikes. Defense 3. Oh, all 4 hits. Roll straight into it. POW 4. Try not to knock over the dice tray. And drops the Aegis with a well-aimed shot. So lesson learned, folks. When you start a game in the same deployment zone, it is a super killy game. This is kind of nuts. That's his attacks. He hasn't moved yet. Before he does, he's going to spike. Use one of his alien artifacts to teleport away in a flash of arcane xenotech something or other. And he's going to reappear within 2 inches of a friendly model. Right there. And as much as he really wants to run down the back of this container in order to try to make a play for the deployment zone, he also knows that the ace duelist of the Thousand Worlds is out here, so we're going to think of something more defensive and make a play on that the next pulse round. Alright, after doing some measurements, there's really not a great spot he can get where he's going to be safe from guns and also Voss's 7-inch movement, so he's just going to buckle down, fasten his very awesome little helmet, and shuffle his 5 inches this way, carrying the objective. You may be asking yourself, why is he making a play going out into the front instead of like trying to hide in these buildings back here? It's because while he's holding it, it's worth 1, but this turn, they're all worth 2 if they're in the deployment zone, and next turn it'll be 3. So the ASC has a very slim lead, and they're going to try to hold on to it, making some War Budgie style daring plays. Meanwhile, we're going to get some reinforcements action out of this gate and this gate. I'm going to pull the Vassal Reavers out of this gate on top of the container, ready to storm in there and hopefully pick up some objectives. Scourge is going to come out over here, not the best spot for him to be, but you know, we have that gate and we need to use it. Grafter can drop a 3 arc gate right next to himself. Honestly, we're halfway through the game and we have most of the units on the board. Let me take a look at the sideboard. Only units not present, we've got the Paladin Annihilators and the 2 attachments, so the Aegis and the Raker. That's it. Everyone else is finally on the board. For how long? We shall see. Moving over to Team ISA, the Enforcers are going to get the arc charge this time. ISA turn, we're going to charge up the Enforcers and play Parabellum Chrysalis on them. So while they are holding an objective, they will get 2 power dice to their melee and ranged attack rolls. Somewhat predictably, they will come pick up this objective. And they'll start putting shots into the Grafter sitting right there. All right, first shot coming in, they are charged, they are Rat 3, and they have Parabellum Chrysalis. They are Chrysalist. First shot coming in with 4 strikes against defense 3 on the Grafter. 2 get through. Trying to make armor 3, it would be lovely if we could break armor 3 twice. And we do, all right, so grab the objective, feeling good about yourselves, arcane energy courses through your armor, and you drop a big crazy flesh mechanic with 1 shot. Spurred on by that good fortune, the second guy will take a shot into the Scourge. Not the Scourge, the Scythe. Coming in with all the same benefits we just saw. Oh, and a good shot from him too. 4, 5, 6, 7 strikes. 7 strikes against defense 3. This is going to be a rough one. Try to break armor 4, he only has 2 health left because he's been burning his own engines. So 8 strikes will kill him. I'm not that good at math. Let me rack this up. There's 4, there's 8. We don't have a new record here, do we? 2, 4. We're going to sit here and watch me do math. 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, we had like 22 that one battle report. Still enough to foul the engine and send the Scythe into a spinning crash. So congratulations are in order for you two guys. You are champs. Quite naturally, the next activation will be Justicar Voss, who sees a fine and tempting target right over here carrying an objective and will charge thusly. 2 swords, armor piercing on both. First stab coming in on Mat 5. Not great, not terrible. 4 strikes. He does only get 2 swings though, and Harlan has 2 health, or 3 health. So defense 2, blocks 2. 2 get through, we're trying to break armor 3 now because armor piercing. And breaks him for 1. I do a little better than that here. Only get 1 more swing. 3 strikes. Harlan in defense 2. And he blocks it. Absolutely astonishing show of defense work from the big guy. I say Warcaster use displacement index and start to retreat these guys this way with their little objective prize. Which is funny because we're about to spawn in new objectives, but each unit can only carry one objective at a time. Turn 3 coming up and things are looking kind of concerning. Both sides have one objective that they're holding. Not being able to rip this one away from Harlan is a big hit because he can do his little shenanigans tricks next turn and show up pretty much anywhere. All right, so we're gonna go, we'll go over to the AC and see what they've got. We gotta position ourselves for the possibility, at least, of new objectives arriving very soon. But first, we're gonna do some reinforcements out of this gate. It's exactly who you expect. The Annihilators are back. No Aegis this time, though, because I could not fit him into the space. The Weaver will drop a 2-arc gate here along the back because action is starting to move this way. Looking over here at the Raiders, they are going to receive the arc charge. The Marauder is going to receive Cankerbane, which gives corrosion to his melee attacks, and we're also going to remove his activation token. Going straight into the Marauder, he's going to put the Claw into the Siegebreaker, try to finish him off. Mat 4 with an arc charge and only 2 strikes, but he's defense 2. See how it goes. And he blocks it, naturally. Going to put his Shredder into the, let me think, they're going to get cover from being on high. He might waste the shot if he shoots him, but he's only got 1 health left. We'll shoot the Siegebreaker. Rat 4, arc charge, much better, 5 strikes. Defense 2. All 5 get through. Coming in, trying to break armor 4. Oh yeah. Finally, just stitches up some bullets into him. Very close range. Dropping him, which removes 1 more fairly strong warrior model from the hot zone. And to move his 5 inches forward. Thundering up over to there. This guy's been very long-lived for one of these games. Usually they draw a lot of fire, but there's just a lot happening. Meanwhile, the Raiders are going to open up on their counterparts here on the cargo container, shooting their spikers into the Paladin Annihilators, because they know that return volley is coming next round. First shot. All right, 4 strikes. No cover from this one. Defense 3. 2 of them get through. POW 4, armor 3. First one down, barely. It's a well-aimed sniper shot. Drops the first one. Shot number 2. Not bad, 3 strikes. And 2 of them get through. Roll straight into it. Breaking armor 3. Oh yeah. Second shot. Beautiful hit. Can they go 3 for 3? Oh, I think they can. 4 strikes. 2 of them get through. Just to make it a sure thing, we'll spike to give him corrosion. Bring him to armor 2. Didn't need it. He is out. Squad wipe. And a little insult to injury. They will then move 6 inches straight forwards, taking a position on the container. And I gotta say, bravo and well done on that play. We're gonna play Devastation Optimizer on the Scourge. We don't have nearly enough space to bring out the scythe back here. So instead we'll bring out a Grafter supported by a Mantlet, which I bet he wishes he had last time. And then we'll do a deployment zone drop for the next gate. Look at the state of the board going into ISA turn 3. There's a lot more red in this area, and they're all warrior models. The ISA they got the commander over there. Firebrand's not a warrior model. It's kind of funny. Warjacks are really powerful, but they become a lot less important in scenarios where they can't score things. So his main objective is to remove the enemy's warrior models, which he'll get to in a second. These guys are doing great, but they already have an objective. And then of course we have Harlan down here. Starting off, Firebrand is going to get the Gift of Arc. And we're going to play Annihilation Vector, so he gets to make a free attack immediately, a melee attack, against, in this case, the Marauder. Coming in, whoop, dropped a dice. Happens a lot, folks. Mat 4. Only 2 strikes. Defense 2. and blocks it. Sad. However, he is... Turn and face your target. We keep talking about this. That's why he keeps missing all the time. He's going to get our first activation, start swinging into the Marauder. We're going to do Shield Bash, then Sword, and then he's kind of spoiled for targets when it comes to his Harbinger Cannon. Shield Bash first. Not bad. That is 4 strikes. 4 strikes, defense 2. 2 of them get through. It's only POW 2 trying to crack armor 4. Does not happen. Very spinny dice though. Fusion Glaive is next. That's better. 4 strikes. 4 strikes, defense 2. 3 of them are through. Alright, now we're talking. POW 5. Lost the dice again. 1 second. I usually have spares when I'm running out of spares. Alright, we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Smokes him clean in half. It's about time. That guy was really surviving today. Cuts him down. 1 more out of play. Can put his Harbinger Cannon into the Reavers. And he will spike to ignore cover because they are very tall and he would like to get rid of them. Rolling for strafe. Let's see, big money. Get 2 strikes. We could wipe the whole squad. Yeah, 1. We'll take it. First shot. 2 strikes. No cover because Harbinger Cannon spiked. And he blocks it. Second shot. Only 1 strike. Man, you spiked for this. You spoke. You spoked. Yep. Nothing happens. Chew some nice big holes in this cargo container, but the squad lives. He does get to move, so we're going to move him just a little bit. He wants to stay in this area. He's going to be guarding whatever comes out of the ship next, but he wants to keep them safe as much as he can. Paladin Commander will take the solo activation. He will scoot up to here and throw a shoulder cannon, pulse cannon, whatever they're called, into the Raiders. Coming in with Rat 4. 2 strikes. All right. 2 strikes. They are in cover. And blocked it. They will take the POW 3 blast damage. And 2's enough because these are still vassals. Finally, the Weaver is going to throw Null Collider into the newly arrived gate. Focus 4, 2 arc in the tank. Pretty good shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikes. Defense 3 on the gate. Blocks 4 of them. Bravo. I'm telling you guys, every single component of the AC army is working at high speed today. Alright, hitting for damage. Armor 5. Just shy of it. So the Null Collider will clear 1 just for hitting. Doesn't quite clear the other one. As far as reinforcements goes, we're going to burn the remaining Archon here and bring back ya boy, the Siegebreaker. Paladin Annihilators will come out of this one, ready to give Harlan a nice hello when he comes around the corner. And we'll drop a 2 arc gate here behind this cargo container. So that is Pulse Round 2. Let's go into scoring. Score stands at AC 1, ISA 0. AC going to pick up 1 more point for Harlan Sec holding that one. ISA will pick up a point for the Enforcers holding that one, bringing us to a 1-2 score in favor of the AC. Let's see if Scourge gets to keep his tune-up. He does not. It was mostly to cycle the card out, but, you know, still. More importantly, as we go into Pulse Round 3, let's see what objectives we spawn, see what's in play. We get 1 more objective on the back row. With a game tied this close, that is an incredibly important point. Reminder, at the end of Pulse Round 3, they'll get 1 point if they're holding it. They'll get 3 points if they're holding it in their deployment zone. And Harlan's making a good play to get back there. I don't know about these guys. We will see. Going into Pulse Round 3, I'm excited, you're excited, Justicar Voss is excited. So let's do this. Moving into Pulse Round 3, the Arc Charge is going to go to Big Boss Harlan. And his somewhat desperate situation tucked in this corner. We're going to use Recurrent Apotheosis to trade out one of the Raiders for a big scary Marauder. Just show the Siegebreaker we're not scared of him. And our first play of the game, somewhat surprisingly, is going to be the Weaver. Hasn't had a whole lot to do this game so far, but given the situation, she is going to shuffle her 6 inches down to this tower. Strange. And she'll say something clever about having the high ground and throw Psychokinetic Hood down against the Paladin Weaver. She is Rat 3 going against Defense 3. 1 strike on the attack. And blocked. That's okay, she's done her job and gotten in position. We are going to jump over to Harlan, who's going to swing with his Empyrean Sword against the Duelist Voss. Swinging in with Mat 4 and an Arc Charge. Not bad, 4 strikes. Voss with Defense 4. He deflects it easily. It seems you brought 1 sword to a 2-sword fight. Gonna shoot him with his shooty gun. And another 4 strikes. Defense 4. And it hits. So at this point, Voss has a couple of options. So while Voss is charged, he's at +1 armor, which is nice. So he could just try to soak the hit. There's a possibility that Harlan could spike to use stun module, give him an activation token. But he's going to gamble because that's probably not what Sek has in mind. So Harlan's gun is POW 4. We got through with 1, and since he's charged, Voss is at armor 4. And he takes 1. Since Voss was just attacked, he gets to make a free 2-inch move, which he will move back here, because he has just realized what Harlan Sek is up to. As Harlan spikes to use his alien artifact, vanishes, and reappears near the Immortal Weaver in the deployment zone, now holding 3 points worth of objectives. He moved into the other side. He's still within 5 inches of the edge of the board. Just want to give him a little more cover from the angry retaliation squad. And then to help cover him, the Weaver is going to throw Pyrokinetic Surge into the Weaver. Focus 4 with 5 arc in the tank. There's your high ground for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 strikes. 10 strikes against Defense 3. Okay, put a dent in it. 8 get through on a POW 3 fire. There are very bad things in store for you, my friend, and they are happening now. Yep, so he is instantly cooked. No reinforcements to the AC because the only person not on the board is the Scythe. And then a couple of the Raiders and the Raker, so we're just gonna leave it as it is. They're liking their position so far. Haven't really made a play up here, but they certainly have the forces for it. The big priority this turn was just getting Harlan. He has the potential to turn the whole game if he can hold on to that objective, but he has just made enemies out of the shooty squad. So let's see where the ISA puts their focus going into their turn 1. Their focus is going to a predictable spot. We're going to charge up the Paladin Annihilators and play Tachytelic Metamorphosis, my favorite thing to say. So they will gain +2 Rat, Mat, and Defense. Biggest thing is going to be Rat. So the biggest problem the ISA has is where to focus their stuff, because we are on the final pulse round now. So for instance, Voss could run his way over here, but he'd get about halfway, run out, and we don't have encrypted command in the docket right now. I don't know where it is in the deck. So Voss is really Voss is just kind of stuck in the center here. He can probably get up here and start massacring some vassals. That might be the play for him. But more likely we're going to use the Paladin Commander for the solo activation, try to grab that objective. That'll give them 2. And then if the shooty squad can wipe out everybody up here, then the ISA will be up by 1 point. So let's try for that. Paladin Commander shuffles backwards, scoops up the objective, and then he will shoot his pulse cannon up into these guys. Coming in with Rat 4. Okay, off to a good start. 1 strike. These guys are in cover, having the high ground, and they're fine. Blast damage on the primary target, and he's fine. He is now holding that objective. His goal now is simply to stay alive. Meanwhile, it's time for the big shooty squad to be the heroes we all need, deserve, and all that. They move their 4 inches. Set them up right here. And then they will spike to ignore cover and line of sight and just completely saturate this landing pad with bullet holes. So all three of these volleys are going to be targeting Harlan as primary target, rolling strafe against the Weaver. And here's the situation. If they can take out Harlan and the Weaver, and they can hold on to these two objectives, they'll win the game. If they cannot take out Harlan and the Weaver, we have serious ISA flavored problems because there's really nobody else around here who can run up and grab the objective. Which means the AC, with their 1 point lead, will then have 3 points to the ISA's 2, even if they can hold on to those. So here are the important numbers to remember. These guys are shooting on now Rat 5 with Tactilic Metamorphosis. Their guns are POW 4. Harlan is only defense 2, but he is armor 4. And the Weaver is 3-3. So here we go. Shot number 1, targeting Harlan, rolling for strafe. We do get a strafe. Shot against Harlan. Only 2 strikes. His defense roll. 1 gets through. POW 4 against armor 4. Not quite. Secondary shot hitting the Weaver. Again, 2 strikes. You're gonna have to do better than that, guys. This is the crux moment. Defense 3. She blocks it. I'm putting this next to you not because you have system failure, but because you are a terrible shot. Second gun, rolling for strafe. He gets a strafe as well. Primary shot going against Harlan. 2 strikes, all right. Harlan's defense 2. Both get through. Now that is promising. Armor 4. Lost white dice. Is that gonna make the difference? No, it's not. Secondary shot against the Weaver. 4. Okay, so you needed that one against Harlan. 4 strikes. Defense 3. And only 1 gets through. Weaver is armor 3. And she's taken for 1. You are at least an okay shot. I'm not giving you the shame token. Third gun, rolling for strafe. Also gets a strafe. 5 dice against Harlan Sec. Actually, no, we've had bad luck with that. Let's reverse it. Shooting the Weaver first. Ah, dang it. That would have been a good roll for Harlan. 5 strikes. 5 tries against the Weaver's defense 3. 2 get through. Straight into it. I've got the dice here. Show me 3. And the Weaver's down. All right, here we go. Last gun. Harlan Sec. I don't even have a big intro for this. This is just crazy. 3 strikes. Can the good doctor do it? 2 of them are through. Yeah, I know he's not a doctor, but you know, I'm just gonna stick with it. It's a running joke by now. Here we go, trying to break armor 4. Hopefully twice. He's got 3 health. Oh man, you don't get me speechless very much on this channel. All right, so after your awful shooting, your mediocre shooting, this dude steps up, shows you how it's done, completely shreds bolts through the floor of this landing pad, dropping both the Weaver and Harlan, leaving the objective out in the clear. ISA will drop 1 arc off this gate to pull out a Weaver. We're not dropping any more void gates because all the ISA are on the field, pretty much, and we want to save the arc for Fury Ciphers. So just like that, it became anybody's game. No one's really getting to this objective who can hold it. I mean, the Scourge could get there, but he can't hold it. So the most valuable thing in the game has just been dropped, which means the game just came down to these 2 objectives back here, which are in the middle of an absolute mosh pit of nonsense here. So the AC's objective then is to try to shoot off as many of the ISA as they can because they do have the 1 point lead. So as long as they can tie up the scoring this pulse round, they'll still win. This is insane, folks, but this is Warcaster. We are going to move on to AC, turn 2. All right, the AC have a plan that they like to call eliminate every warrior model in sight. It's going to begin with charging the Marauder, 1 arc, and then playing Arcane Synthesis to charge the Scourge. I didn't learn my lesson. Let me put his arc up here. All 3 up on the Scourge, 1 in the Marauder. Let us commence with the nonsense. Scourge is going to scamper up 2 inches onto this building, moving the rest of his 6 to emerge on this little platform. That's actually a pretty cool little shot right there. He would much rather be in melee, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. He's not a great shot, but 3 arc makes anybody a good shot, hopefully. So we are going to drop his rocket pod, long 12-inch shot into the Paladin Enforcer. Slightly better shot here. That's why you don't see me measure stuff on camera. I only measure off camera because I cannot multitask like that in the moment. Rocket pod coming in hot, quite literally. Oh, and a good shot. He's kind of been sidelined this whole game, so I guess it's about time. 8 strikes. 8 strikes against defense 3. 7 get through. I don't think there's enough compound armor in the world to protect from this blast, but he is armor 4 now. And he's armor 0 now, because he is Delito. If you're wondering why he didn't shoot the guy holding the objective, it's because he was at 13-inch range. We'll have to settle for Blast. Blast on the... We'll do the Firebrand first. Armor 4. Drop to dice. Been doing that a lot lately. Firebrand is fine. Why? Because I'm just so enthusiastic about this game. Alright. Armor 4. Compound armor. Trying to get the objective bearer. Oh, and he gets him! Little aftershock, bust through the armor. Objective is loose. Scourge is going to cackle maniacally, I can only assume, and then he'll put his Nailer into the Paladin Commander. Nailer coming in, rat free, 3 arc, another good shot. Honestly, man, you're really coming in clutch right now. I say that, we haven't finished the rolls yet. 2, 4, 6 strikes. Defense 3. 3 of them are through. Armor 3, 2 health, 6 strikes will clear him. Oh, not quite. Got 1 health. I think we can all agree, job well done from the Scourge. Alright, so lots of considerations here. Very tense moment. The Reavers could jump down and scoop up that objective, but they would probably get eviscerated pretty quickly by the Firebrand because I don't have any Cypher cards that could boost them up. No Plexus Densifier or Parabellum or whatever. So no help there. That would be a tricky one. Alternative, so we may just have to leave that one where it lies, in which case, right now the ISA is holding the only objective. The Marauder is the easy choice to go next. He can go face to face with the Siegebreaker, who would be very dangerous if he got a hold of it. And then just kind of generically spray bullets and hope to take down the commander? I don't know. I think we'll just go Marauder on this one. Try to remove the warrior models, because if there are no ISA warrior models standing, then they can't hold any objectives, and then the AC wins. So I think that's our play. The guy I put the shame token on fell off the table and his arm broke, so now I actually feel really bad inside. Alright, Marauder's gonna put the claw into the Siegebreaker. Not a bad start. 4 strikes. 4 strikes against. Oh, all 4 get through. This just got spicy. Wrecking Claw is HAL 4. And I didn't check his armor. I think he's armor 4. He is in fact armor 4, so he takes 1. You can put the Shredder into the Paladin Commander, rolling for strafe because the Firebrand is nearby. Getting 2 strafe. Paladin Commander shooting first. Or getting shot at first. 4 strikes. 4 strikes against defense 3. Oh, he blocks it. Well, at the end of that, he will take a jump move, just moving 5 inches and then dropping down. Bringing his arc with him. And quick check to see if he sprained his ankle. 2-inch drop, POW 2. No. Over here at this gate, we will give ourselves 1 more warrior model on the field and lose that gate. Alright, that was not great, not terrible. They got rid of the squad holding this objective here, so the ISA now has to prioritize. Do they just try to hold on to that one and safeguard this one? Paladin Commander's already activated, so there's not much he can do. But the Firebrand hasn't activated. The Siegebreaker hasn't activated. We did forget to charge him with Dominion Converter after he was attacked. Sorry, buddy. So really the major things the ISA needs to do is they need to go scoop up the other objective somehow. And not a great number of ways to do that, so we'll see what they can do. Okay, so after doing some measurements here, here's the problem. The only warrior models remaining is Voss with his spooky 7-inch move, which he's about 9 inches from the objective. This guy's only moving 5 inches, Weaver's moving 6 inches. So the short version is nobody can get to that objective to actually pick it up. So with the ISA, unfortunately the ISA is looking at trying to force a tie if they can just hold on to that objective. So that's going to have to be their plan, is just preventing the AC from picking that one up and then just holding out. So in the spirit of that, the Siege Breaker, since he is level with these guys, then we'll get cover, he's going to open up with his shooty guns. We'll go pick one, probably the missiles first. Yeah, we're going to start with the missiles because the Radliff V9 is a strafe weapon and blast beats strafe when we're doing mathematics because you don't have to roll for blast. Shooting the missiles. Not a bad shot. 3 strikes. Really need this one to hit. Oh, and hit it does. Let's go check the POW. All 4. Armor 2. 1 down. Let's get these red dice out of here. We'll go run the 2 blast hits. Can you clear the squad? No, 1 survivor. But just 1 survivor. We will take you 2 guys. Now it's time for the V9. Should have had a V8. That was a really dumb joke. I apologize for that one. 5 strikes. Defense 3. 4 get through. 4 and 4 trying to break 2. Oh yeah. Eliminated. Then he will move out here. Just kind of a vague attempt to stop a lot of forward progress across the board. Holding for a sprained ankle. Nope. So did have a thought actually, we do have encrypted commands somewhere in the deck because we've done 1 breeze shelf on the ISA side, but I don't know if it's gonna come up, so... Basically we're just gonna run Voss up 7 inches. He is he's very survivable while he's charged. And if we do get encrypted command, he can run out there and scoop up the objective. Meanwhile, the Weaver is going to play Havoc Spiral on the Marauder. Focus 4, 3 arc in the tank. Pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikes. 5 strikes against defense 2. 4 get through. On to POW 3. Trying to break armor 4. Nothing doing. Normally Havoc Spiral would then drag the model, but it requires damage first, so no luck. And some bad news. We discarded, we drew up Displacement Index, Parabellum Chrysalis, neither of which really helps us in this circumstance. So, without Aggression Theorem to scoot somebody in, the best we can do is try to play for a tie, and that's going to depend mostly on what the AC does on their turn. Moving over to the AC turn, their final turn, the most important turn, they're going to remove activation token from Marauder Buddy. And they will pull arc from this gate and the arc from the Scourge, giving them 4 more arc in the well. And the Weaver is going to try to be the hero again and throw Velocity Projector into the Siege Breaker. Choosing the Weaver because they are now focus 4 with 6 arc in the tank. And a pretty astonishing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 strikes. 7 strikes against defense of 2. He blocks 1, 10 strikes, which is going to slam him into a neighboring zip code, getting extra red off the container. Very difficult to hold the camera right now, but we have a POW 4 with 11 red dice going against armor 4. We need to show 8 strikes. I feel like we got him. Let's tally it up real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 strikes as he just becomes a cartoon cutout, punch through here, punch through this wall, and lands about 3 kilometers back. Don't know how far 3 kilometers is in miles. Let's just say it's a really long way to throw somebody with your brain. With that done, the Marauder will slide into here. He's going to put his Shredder into the Paladin Commander first. Rolling for strafe. Good strafe. We're at 4. I guess the Commander, 2, 4, 7 strikes. Good. Good being an assessment that is not shared by the Paladin Commander. 7 strikes, 6 get through. Do believe we're headed for a curtain call momentarily as the Commander goes down, dropping the objective where he was. Put his Wrecking Claw into the Firebrand. And only 3 strikes. He's trying to use the claw to give him system failure. Let's see. 3 strikes, 3 strikes blocked. But job well done. The little thingy has been dropped. Slow activation. The Weaver will run out, scoop it up, and start praying to the Divine Tempest. I don't know. She will throw Instability Equation as her final shot against the Firebrand. I'm sorry, Marauder guy. We are still at focus 4, 6 reds. Ooh, not a very good shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strikes, certainly blockable. Unless, of course, you roll complete blanks. Make armor 4 twice if she can. Close, but no. So he goes down to his last health, but it's still standing. That is it for the AC's final play. Now we're going to go into ISA. We're going to get relatively short because there's really just one thing to do. They're going to try to beat the crap out of that Weaver with the Firebrand. If he fails, the Weaver will get a pistol shot and have to run in there to try to grab the objective. And that will tie the game if they succeed. Firebrand moves in. Let's get all cozy like. Going well, we're just going to go straight to the sword. Sword gets the work done sometimes. 3 strikes. Weaver, you got to duck, dodge, dip, dive, dodge. Ooh, not well enough. POW 5. But she still has both of her health, and she's armor 3. And just enough to keep her alive, so down to 1 health. Going for the shield bash. 3 strikes again. Now is not the time to be lowballing, buddy. Defense blocks it. Running out of tricks here. Harbinger Cannon. Not rolling for strafe because it doesn't matter. Oh, that's better. 2, 4, 6 strikes. 6 strikes, defense 3. 4 are through. And 3 to kill, and she is down. Which means the objective drops where she was. Let's do some measurements on the Weaver. That is going to be game. The Weaver runs in 6 inches, scoops up the objective, and takes a knee. Metaphorically, they actually have to fight their way out of here. That will put the ISA up 1 point for this pulse round, bringing the game to a tie. 1-1. Absolutely lethal mess of a game. Hope you guys enjoyed. We will see what that means for the storyline moving into the final episode next week. We will see you there.